Integrated digital delivery is one of the key areas of transformation that is going to help the industry get into the fourth industrial revolution. So let's spend a little bit of time to talk about IDD. In 2010, PCA came up with the first BIM roadmap with the idea to encourage the industry to adopt building information modeling as a way of doing the construction and design projects. And it was very successfully adopted such that by 2015, more than 90% of GFA for projects has been submitted by using BIM through e-submission. And in the year 2015, PCA progressed to come up with the second BIM roadmap where they want to make use of virtual design and construction to integrate with the BIM that the industry is starting to get used to. So they aim to bring BIM from design to construction, and they want to widen the collaboration through virtual design and construction. And they hope that they are able to have VDC adoption by GPE projects greater than $13 million. 3 years later, in 2018, PCA further came out with the third roadmap. They call it the IDD plan, which is to encourage widespread digitization throughout the whole project life cycle. So you can see here that IDD actually builds on the platform that is provided by both BIM and EDC. In a sense that when we are using BIM, the whole stakeholders, the different type of stakeholders, from the architects to the engineers to the contractors to the building owners to the government officers, they are all relying on the single source of truth when they are using the BIM or Building Information Modeling System. Yeah. So in that sense, everybody will be using the latest up-to-date model, and there will not be any misunderstanding due to party A using revision 1 and party B using revision 3. And there is a difference between the revision 1 and revision 3 of the plans. Because when you are using BIM model, the model is always the latest up-to-date model. Acting on that, we go on to use these VDC tools, which is an acronym for Virtual Design and Construction. And the idea is to make use of VDC tools to build the model virtually. And then when we build the model virtually, we can see what is the outcome and then further refine, and then we can build the model in real life. So the slogan for VDC is, we want to build twice. The first time we are going to build virtually, and then the second time we will build the real construction. And then we can tap on the IDD tools to enhance the IDD throughout the project life cycle for the different stakeholders. So in a sense, integrated digital delivery will be able to streamline the different work processes and connect the various stakeholders through digital data, innovation, and technology across the whole project life cycle, from the design stage to the construction, fabrication, and also to the facility management of the building, so as to derive a better outcome for all the different parties. So why do we need IDD? Well, the truth is that the construction industry is among the least digitized industry compared to the other industry, like for example, media, finance, oil and gas, these are chemical and pharmaceutical, mining, transportation, education. You can see from the list that construction industry is actually very low, okay, in terms of IDD or computerized usage. So we are not able to tap on the advantages and the benefits that IDD is already able to give to the other industries. These are some of the challenges that are facing the built environment sector. Firstly, there is a lack of innovation and delay of adoption of technology that is affecting the sectors. And secondly, informal processes or insufficient rigor in the consistency of the execution for the projects. And thirdly, there is an insufficient knowledge transfer from one project to another project. Fourthly, the project itself during the ongoing stage, the monitoring may not be very strong, and as a result, delays are not picked up until it is very advanced into the project. And there's very little cross-functional cooperation, very little collaboration between the suppliers. With the adoption of IDD, hopefully it can overcome these challenges. The construction environment is unique in a sense that the industry itself has unique characteristics and operates in a complex client context. For example, projects may come with multiple stakeholders with diverse interests and needs. You can see, for example, the Berlin airport, there are 3 different project owners that were involved in the construction of Berlin airport, leading to delays of 10 years and estimated cost overrun of up to 5 billion euros. The industry is highly fragmented. For example, United States has 710,000 engineering and construction companies, out of which only 2% of these companies has more than 100 workers, while 80% have just 10 workers or fewer. There is low profitability and low capitalization. Globally listed engineering and construction companies have a weighted average total shareholder return of only 5% and are consistently outperformed by most S&P 500 companies. The business is highly cyclical and volatile. For example, the Spanish construction market declined from a peak of 151 billion euros in the year 2006 to just 70 billion euros in the year 2012, and it has still not fully recovered. It faces the problem of unstable workforce. For example, in Canada, about 25% of workers whose construction jobs are terminated find their next job in sectors outside of the construction. The construction environment also operates in a complex client context. Sometimes there are immature project definition and technical assessment. For example, construction costs of the Hamburg project increased from 241 million euros to 789 million euros. Almost all the extra costs resulted from planning that was insufficiently progressed during the tendering stage. Sometimes there is an over-preference for the lowest price bid. In the launch of the 17 kilometers highway segment in Germany, it was delayed by 6 months as one bidder raised objection to the tendering process because the lowest bid has not been chosen. Insufficient or incremental funding. Many US project or government contracts have an availability of funds clause that limits the government's ability to pay the full amount claimed. Some clients are conservative. For example, a minor problem with an innovative rapid hardening concrete during a night shift almost brought a public road project to a stop as the project owner lost faith in the new material. There is an increased risk transfer duty contractors. Emerging market infrastructure investment with private participation often involve a transfer of risk to the contractors and have tripled since 1995 to a total of $108 billion in 2014. Complexity of contracts and dispute resolution. 25 years ago, a typical contract consists of about 50 pages. Today, it can easily exceed 1,000 pages and is packed with legal complexities. This is the current state of digitization in the built environment sector. We have tailor-made solutions, but unfortunately it requires manual configurations and maintenance. Information access for projects to companies and project data is available through LAN and the World Wide Web. Teamwork between the distributed project participants is supported by web-enabled file and document management system. We have basic skills. Okay, that's to say that we use common tools supported by heterogeneous learning initiative. The construction site is an ICT island where mobile phone is the only connection, okay, to the construction site in terms of ICT. So meaning that we are very isolated. The construction site is very isolated. We have document-based IT for sharing human interpretable information. The business process is driven by low investment costs. Buildings and products are at best equipped with vendor-specific platforms and protocols, and as a result, they are not able to communicate with each other across the different systems. What we want to have moving forward is to have adaptive systems that can learn, okay, from their own use and the user's behavior. To have ambient access anytime, anywhere, distributed and embedded systems, and mobile computing. To have collaborative virtual teams combine distributed competencies via collaborative environment. To have IT skills and awareness promoted by systematic technology transfer, training, e-learning, built-in learning support in ICT tools. Instead of having a construction site that is isolated in terms of ICT, to have a digital site that connects the mobile workers, intelligent products, and site machinery for real-time information. To have a model-based ICT enables integration, automation, simulation, and visualization. To have process-driven processes to ensure conformity to the customer's needs and emphasize end users' satisfaction and value. To have smart buildings and products to support interactive workspaces, ambient control, and self-reporting.